Hey guys. Yeah, no worries.
Questions? Mike in the front. Hi
Hey.
there. Really strong sort of, I don't know, first 35 overs in that match. Did you feel like, had you maybe taken that catch with Ben, that would have been a really strong position for you guys at halfway?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think when it comes to big players and taking sort of those half chances, we definitely pride ourselves on doing that as a fielding unit, and we practice those as well a lot. So for us, it is a little bit disappointing, but then again, like I don't think you can put it down to sort of that one opportunity. It also comes back to being able to execute our bowling plans and being disciplined as well. Yeah, I don't think would be disappointed not to take it, but I wouldn't pin it on that essentially. Obviously, in the game of cricket, you make your own luck and you make other opportunities as well. So yeah, it's just obviously disappointing that the momentum had shifted from then on. So which kind of got away from us, especially towards the death.
Yeah, we know Ben is a special player who can do great things. You had him tied down for a long time. You were shutting his boundary options. Was there any part of you that was fearing that if you didn't get him, he would ultimately sort of explode at some point?
Look, with all the great players around the world, that's always going to be the case. They know what they're doing. They know how to build an innings, essentially. And obviously, when you get the pace of the wicket and you get a feeling for the bowlers, especially when they're coming back for their second and third spell, you've already seen them. So from that point of view, yeah, look, again, it comes back to our own sort of discipline and our execution of our plans, which didn't quite happen at the back end. But we're quite obviously happy with the way that we built pressure and the way we came back. Showed a lot of character, I thought, from the guys, both from a fielding point of view and as a bowling unit as well. So which was a positive.
And you got away a few nice shots. You were sort of ticking along nicely. Do you feel that ultimately 179 was not quite a great representation on that pitch because you were getting away quite well?
Yeah, it was a good pitch. It's probably one of the better pitches that we've played on in this tournament, where the pace and the bounce of the wicket was quite consistent. So yeah, I don't think that's a fair representation, and that's disappointing for our batting group, if I'm really honest.
Tej, could I just ask you to look forward to Sunday's game? Obviously, a bit of a low-key spectacle in some ways today with the crowd versus what will be pretty extraordinary probably on Sunday.
Yeah, look, I think to arguably play the best team in the comp at the top of the table is something that we're very excited by, and it's another opportunity for us. I think every time we step on the park, we're trying to showcase our skills and do the best that we can, especially being at the World Cup and coming through the journey that we've done. Yeah, we don't take any game for granted, and definitely, yeah, looking forward to getting out there on Sunday against India.
Teja,
Hey.
a lot of people will base their opinions on how you perform at a World Cup. The two wins aside, it's been an indifferent tournament, especially for the batters. Where do you think it has gone wrong, and how do you ensure that you keep building on the exposure and the learnings?
Yeah, look, we haven't put together, I think, the ideal game yet, if I'm really honest, where we were able to do that in the qualifiers probably a bit more consistently. But then we're up against the best teams in the world, the top 9 teams in the world here. So, yeah, we've been tested both from a technical point of view as well as a skillful point of view, whether that's against spin or against pace. I think there's some great reference points, not only for us, but also guys back home. And yeah, we've been writing down that learning, we've been discussing that learning, and also the intensity and the overall skill it requires to be able to access the ball in different areas and rotate strike is something that we're going to continue to work on. As you can see, it's quite important. You see people like Kohli, or even today, how Ben Stokes were able to get good balls of spinners just down to long on and long off, and obviously ease that pressure. Yeah, so there are definitely reference points, and there are definitely things that we've highlighted throughout the course of this journey. And we are growing and a learning group of cricketers as a whole team, and we pride ourselves on that. So I have no doubt that we'll get back to the drawing board, discuss this game, and take that forward.
Hi. You've obviously had opportunities, and just even over the past year, in both formats that you play, the games that you have won against the full members. What do you think? What do you want to take your game to the level where you can start beating them with consistency at tournaments like this? Is it just a matter of more games?
Yes, and it's also being able to do good things for longer. Whether, again, to point out some quality players, like, once they get to 30 or once they get to 40, if we're talking about our batting group, if we're talking about our bowling or spinners, being able to nail that sort of length or area, not get bored and stick to our plans, and being able to execute. And being able to execute under pressure in front of crowds or obviously against big players. These guys play against each other all the time. They play in IPL, they have lots of exposure in terms of what's going on. In the Netherlands, we don't have a first-class system. We have club cricket, and then we have Netherlands A cricket where we do some touring. And then you thrust it onto the ICC World Cup scene or the qualifiers or whatever, and then you're facing quality bowlers who are bowling 135 plus or being able to turn the ball and bowl a wrong end effectively. So I think it's a mixture of both. And the coaching staff, in terms of the preparation and the planning over the last 12 to 14 months, has been exceptional, and that has bridged the gap for us. So the longer we continue on this journey and sort of the more exposure, as you say, is one, but also being able to do those good things for longer will ensure that we beat obviously the main sides a lot more.
Can you beat India?
It's a game of cricket, right? So it could be possible. We play our brand of cricket. We do what we do well. We've got some great manoeuvres of the ball. We've got guys who can play spin well. We've also got guys who can take wickets. It really just, obviously, you need a bit of luck. There's no doubt that they're a very strong team, and they've been playing very good cricket. But funnier things have happened in the game.
Teja, with this defeat, Netherlands has to go down last place. How do you feel about you have another one match against strong India?
Look, of course it's disappointing to be in the last place. Our objective to coming to the World Cup was to, like every other team, to be in a position to play knockout cricket. And as wild or as brave as that sounds, it's really important to have aspiration, and it's really important to have something to aim for. So, if you don't aim for that, you might get there, and which will be a good result. But if you aim for here and you don't get anywhere, that's also not ideal. But I think, as I said earlier, there's been a lot of learnings. We pride ourselves on being able to evolve and grow, which this exposure against the top 9 teams in the world has done for us. So being in last place, that's the cricket that we're playing right now. But I'm sure that we'll pick ourselves up and move forward in the coming tournaments. We have the T20 World Cup next year that we've already qualified for. So, that's another opportunity for us to build towards. And I have no doubt that, we'll definitely be causing a few upsets there and playing well and wanting to play in the semi-finals as well.
Sri Lanka and Netherlands are the 2 teams qualified for this World Cup after qualifying round played in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Do you happy the way you played really well, or what are the positives? I think because you did really big upset against tough teams like South Africa.
Look, at that qualifier tournament, we played good, consistent cricket throughout. We didn't bat well 2 games, and those were against Sri Lanka, unfortunately. But we chased 375 against the West Indies. We chased a number of other scores. We put away teams. We were more ruthless. So again, it's just being able to transfer that style of play against these top 9 teams in the world, which will take a lot of learning. If you look at someone like Afghanistan, they've been at the last 3 World Cups now, and look at what they're able to achieve. So this is the first time that we're here in the last decade or so. So again, Afghanistan didn't win a game, one World Cup, and they won 1 in 2015. So there are teams that come in and get exposure also have a tough time. So we see this as a learning block, but we're out there to compete. No one comes to lose or to play badly. So yeah.
Last one to this gentleman. Hi, you were quite competitive for the first 44 or 43 hours. What happened? You ran out of team, just like your campaign. As the tournament is ending, you are not able to give the best.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I think all the guys are trying very hard. We're a very hard-working group. No one really misses an optional training because for us to get opportunities to train on wickets like this or to be able to have proper facilities is something that we fully, throw ourselves into. So I think, obviously, as the tournament wears on, just with any other team, like, when you're playing hard cricket, it's tough. It's not the easiest thing to be doing. But, yeah, look, there's been a little bit of sickness around the team and stuff like that, but guys are still fronting up and taking ownership, which is really nice. We're going to pick ourselves up as best as possible for the India game, and we look forward.
Thank you, Teja. Congrats again to our European compatriots in the tournament.
Not sure
and many
there's-
thanks to the people in Pune for having
They're
us. All the
they're
best.
out of the Brexit, so
Well, still European.
I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure
All
that
the best for the
applies.
remainder of the tournament. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time.